Welcome on in, everyone, to a GripTV broadcast, and I'm joined up in here with the booth with Judson Kane. Welcome, GripTV Nation and faithful out there. How you doing, Judson?
Very good, Malone. How are you doing today?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Just getting ready here. The suspense is killing me as we're just waiting for the session to open up here for the RyanL83 Invitational. 60 cars are going to be out there, full grid at Circuit of the Americas. It's going to be wild stuff. Lots of places where they can find us, too, as you see all the links below. But, man, it's going to be wild. What, you got any thoughts on the race here today?
Yeah, talk about putting a bunch of prime talent on a new track with new dynamics of cars and give them 90 minutes to duke it out. I would imagine that they're all, with the adrenaline running, the anticipation going. There's going to be people that are going to push hard fast. Mistakes are going to fly. And it'll be interesting to see how the guys can settle down into a pace over the long course of this race. And obviously, there's been a lot of anticipation amongst the nation, and to have us all assemble yet again for one of the marquee races to really get us started for season two. There's a lot of big changes going on with GripTV. There's a lot of big changes that are going on with the nation. We got cars and iRacing. I mean, it's talk about an awesome time to be really keying in on a pretty crucial race to see who's the top dog going into week two.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Season 2 is getting close here, and everyone's just trying to get through week 13. I know we've been hosting a lot of races getting ready for the GT3 Challenge Series, and if you're not part of iRacing at this point, this is the time to jump in. It's easy to get started. You got some great cars out there, some really beautiful tire models that they've come out with, some great updates. Not everyone agrees with some of the updates, but you kind of take the good with the bad. And we're kicking it off here with the RyanL83 Invitational, really trying to get going here with Season 2 and all these new GT3 cars and the fixes they made to especially like the McLaren and stuff and the BMW. People seem to really like this BMW. So, just waiting for this race to go. We got a little bit of practice. It's about an hour and a half of practice, and then we're going to see some qualifying, and then the big 90-minute race with all the big hitters are going to be out there today. We got some really big names, and including a lot of our own GripTV members, drivers, are going to be out there sporting that GripTV paint, so it'll be fun to see them out there, and we'll get to know a lot of these guys once we get in the session and really do some character development, get to know these guys on a personal level. It'll be a lot of fun. So just waiting right now to get the session open. But what else is going on in the world of iRacing? Lots of stuff going on out there. We got on the oval side, we got the new Toyota, and we got all the oval cars running tire model 5 now. So people really seem to be liking that. So that's some good stuff too. Other stuff going on, Judson.
Yeah, actually, I've been really fascinated with iRacing's kind of tweak to the physics of the game, and there's a lot more emphasis placed on the development of setups that are more well-rounded. And I think Jimmy B's Lotus race, I think it was Road America, I alluded to this concept of setting up a specialized setup that would be good at a particular point in the race. With the new updates that we have today, the sliding in there, emphasis on traction control, and as well as engine mapping, fuel loads, having a front engine car now in the BMW. You're talking about guys need to spend a lot more care on how they're setting up their mechanical grip, how they're taking care of their car throughout the races, because now the McLaren is back.
Yes, it is. It is back.
It's incredibly strong in the later races. It's going to have a lot of advantage in more of the endurance races that are going to happen in the GT3 series. And I think that before you're able to mash on the pedals, mash on the brakes, and not have much impact in your race, now what you're expending on your car is going to come back and bite you, depending on how much risk you take throughout the race. So this update, to me, even though there's been some negative criticism, has really gotten me excited, because it's just bringing an entire new dimension to how drivers need to manipulate the car. the decisions they make, everything. It's going to be awesome, and we're going to see it today. I think there's going to be a lot of these top dog drivers that actually could be in a world of trouble because they're used to pushing their car to a certain point that actually inhibits more damage over time, more wear, and you're going to see a lot of change from way oversteer to a lot of understeer. So it's going to be something that we're going to look for. We're going to key in during the race, and I'm glad iRacing did it.
Yeah, yeah, and iRacing kind of ventured into this whole, multiple cars, single class kind of thing with this GT3, and is the balance correct with these cars? It seemed like before the update, everyone just jumped in the Porsche because it almost was the better car because the McLaren has some issues going over curbs and just the overall easy drive Porsches that they have. But I think with this new update, they're really trying to get the balance right, and I think they've just about got it. Maybe need to tweak some things here and there. You add traction control, you add the brake pressure, you make it so the McLaren can go over some of these curbs a little bit better, and I think they just about got this balance just about right. I mean, from what we've experienced, Judson, with the hosted sessions that we've put together in some of the races, you see these cars just going at it. It is a lot of fun, and then depending on the setups, like you said, with tire degradation and stuff coming into play a little bit more, and the different fuel loads and the setups, it's I think they're heading in the right direction with some of this stuff, because the worst thing you can do is add a bunch of cars, add a bunch of series, and then no one's racing in anything because it's too spread out. So I think iRacing is doing a great job really bringing everyone in and getting these cars really nice and balanced, and it's just a heck of a time. And we're going to see a lot of that today for the RyanL83 Invitational with a full grid. You're going to see some McLarens, you're going to see the Porsches out there, and you're going to see the brand new BMW, which a lot of people enjoy jumping in the cockpit and running around. So like you said, later in the race, we're going to see guys, maybe really take it to them in the beginning, maybe shred their tires, and then you may not see them later in the race. And you'll see kind of dark horse coming in with the McLaren. I'm almost putting my money on some of these McLarens just because I have a feeling that you're going to see late in the race some of these McLarens really pushing through the field if they can get their fuel management just right. But it should be fun to watch. You would hate to see the McLarens just go by the wayside, but I think with this new update, they've really done a good thing for it, and people seem to really like it. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited. The suspense is freaking killing me, Judson. What about you? You look excited over there.
Well, I'm gearing in. There's a lot of thoughts. I'm going to reserve. I know I put out some predictions earlier this week in week 13 about what's going to happen in this race regarding the different class or the different styles of cars that are in this race. And, with the dynamics that they've changed to this racetrack, it's intentional because they decided to debut it with also releasing Circuit of the Americas.
Yep.
And Herman Tilke, who the designer of the Circuit of Americas, also known for the same Sepang Raceway, Shanghai Raceway, Bahrain. They reprofiled Hockenheim Ring, Fuji Speedway. When you look at the design of Circuit of Americas, you're going to see a lot of very familiar technical turns, these straightaways with high braking pressure that have been embraced from other racetracks. And you're talking about a track that really is designed to start showing the drivers' flaws.
Yeah,
if it's in their setup, the engineering, or even in their driving style, based off these new physics. It's an extreme track. I mean, it's one of the leading tracks that I can think of right now, brand new pavement, very susceptible to temperatures, road temperatures, and it's just like, talk about coming to a head, and iRacing was pretty brilliant about doing that. I don't know if they're trying to be sneaky about it, but I caught on to them. I caught them.
Boy.
It makes a lot of sense. So for the Ryan Invitational to be debuting Circuit of the Americas, also be debuting the BMW, amongst the GT3 cars, this is going to be a good telltale coming into the season, because this track, unlike a lot of the other early season GT3 tracks, is really going to show the differences of these cars.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I mean, I've put in quite a few laps already, with the 24 Heures de Fun and all that stuff, and it is technical, and you get those S's, man. I tell you what, Circuit of the Americas, it'll frustrate any driver, but it's what you love about it is challenging. These guys need a challenge. Some of these faster drivers, they're looking for a challenge, and I think Circuit of the Americas is definitely a track that's going to challenge. Like you said, not only your setup, your driver mentality. We got a 90-minute race today. It's going to test your endurance. It's going to be tough. And
yeah,
yep.
and I even was looking at it. I was looking up the Circuit of America record holders so far at Circuit of America, and I remember when we were broadcasting Spa for the GT3 series, some of the lap times that guys were running through Spa in last season were faster by like 2 or 3 seconds than the record holders. Here, it's a whole different beast. You look at the Ferrari 458 Italia. This is a Pro Series event in which this car participated. The world record speed for this track on the Grand Prix track is a 203.520. The guys that are in iRacing right now haven't even gotten close to touching it. The amateur racer that got the world record did it in an Aston Martin V8 Vantage at a 204.830. Our guys in the GT3 cars, though these cars are a little bit off, are maybe touching 205s, And Ray's pace is going to be around 208. So that skew that happened from sim racing, where there is no fear, like we saw at Spa, and what we're seeing now at Circuit of the Americas, it seems like the dynamics of the race cars have changed so much that it's gotten more realistic as far as lap time output. And I would actually be interested to see what these cars are going to be running at Spa, and seeing if it's going to be up to the same pace, or if they actually will be slowing down quite a bit because of the changes that have happened in all the dynamics of the car and the environment that they're in.
Yeah, for sure. And you talk about real racing versus sim racing. Now there's the no fear element, and how some of these guys will jump on a brand new track and just start beating the real world records and stuff. And I think it's important for iRacing to really try to match it up. I mean, they're going for a simulation. They want it to be a simulator. And, it's hard with the no G-forces and stuff. We all know about that with the simulators and stuff. But for them to be able to get in there and do something like this, it shows that they care about what they're doing, I guess I could say. They're not just throwing it off for us. But, you talk about lap times. You talk about some of the sessions that we've seen open. You talk about weather. Weather in iRacing is fairly new. It's just a couple builds ago they included this whole different types of weather, different track conditions, different sky conditions, and the humidity plays a big role, track temperature, and so you see that come into play, which once again comes along the side of the simulation, the realism kind of thing. You go out and drive a track, it's never going to be the same weather. So I do kind of like what they have going there, and it'd be interesting to see, different setups for different weather conditions, different tire management, different fuel loads. It all plays a factor, and I like it because it always keeps the drivers thinking. There's always ways to improve. There's always differences that they have to manage. They have to overcome these obstacles, whether it be the weather, or different track styles or layouts, and it's just a lot of fun to see. And
Sure.
Even for some of these, we call them alien drivers, even they kick themselves because they know they can improve even more. And that's what we love about iRacing. There's always that other tier that you can reach. No matter where you're starting from, there's always room for improvement, and that's what we love about it, and that's what keeps us coming back. And it's just a great time. So if you guys haven't signed up for iRacing, head on over to iRacing.com, get yourself in that dang Mazda, and start running the laps. Right, Judson?
Yep. And get out of there as fast as you can and get a real car.
And then when you get Class A, you can join me and Tone the Moan in a classic Mazda race, top split crazy action. So it's always a good time. That's what I like about it, because I can go back to the original content that you start with, and you can still have a blast, and there's still ways you can improve. And heck, I go back in those Mazda now, And you know, I used to be way better. That's what's crazy, you know. So it's all about keeping your seat time up, and if you don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing. And kind of like that, where if you don't keep up at it and you don't keep putting in the seat time, you're not going to do as well. You know, it's not like other games where you can just totally own it and master it and be like next. You know, it's easy to learn, hard to master, and I think that's what we all like about it. So get yourself signed up.
So the other thing that I've been anticipating is I've been doing a lot of watching of our very own Jimmy, the Stinging Bee. I watched, Michael Rasmussen. I watched Tone the Moan, the Flying Scotsman. I got a pretty good idea of how their driving styles work. Jimmy's is a little bit more interesting because he has really put together a comprehensive skill set about how he can feather through the car. If it's using the steering wheel to handle a bit of oversteer, it's about balancing the gas or the throttle and brake inputs, and he does it very well in the Lotus Grand Prix Series, which so happens to be the first week series, Malone. And ironically, at Circuit of Americas, when they debuted the track, the first lap, the honorary lap, happened in a 79 Lotus. But I digress. Jimmy has a way to balance out the car. And the way that he does it, even though sometimes he's really smashing on it and he's utilizing oversteer, it's going to have an impact in his race moving forward, more so than it has in the past, especially in these GT3 cars that there could be a theory that you're using traction control on and off in different sectors of the race or different segments of the race. But at the same time, being able to handle the oversteer appropriately and have those kind of skill sets actually could preserve the car in an overall thing that's going to give him a lot more distance in the race.
Yeah, for sure.
So, where if you look at Tone the Moan, who is one of the most fearless drivers I've ever seen in Simmons, the guy that can do Flying Scotsman and go all over the place and really log some lap times, he was struggling at the beginning on the learning curve of the rough because he was so, he mashed the brakes, he mashed the throttle. It was on off for this kind of guy. And so his driving style is going to come into a complete different dynamic with these cars moving forward. And so when you start maximizing that, and you can think of Empty Box, you can think of Ryan Littlemore, you can think of even Rasmussen's having struggles with oversteer in the rough at Circuit of the Americas.
Yep.
Think of that in a 60-car field. I mean, the dynamic of the race is going to be so much more than just observing a little bit of a high-braking overtake down the back stretch. Or, maybe there's going to be the ability to create a new line through the S's, unlike we've seen at Suzuka. So it's, there's so much to talk about. I don't want to give it all away.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil too much.
One of these popping up before the race, but
yeah.
I want the viewers to really be cognizant of these of these kind of factors that are playing into these drivers' art. The way that they're going to be driving these lines, because not only does this affect them overall, the freaking cars change during the race.
I know. Yeah,
so
it really,
you have to drive the BMW a different way when your gas is low, and I mean it's a dramatic difference. It generates so much freaking understeer. It's like it's unbelievable to see the change.
Yeah, it really is.
How do these guys manage this?
Yeah, it's. I know that's what it comes into. Discipline with the driver, and like you said, I've been reading a lot on the forums about the BMW, and it really does take 3-4 laps at COTA to really get rid of the understeer. Really, they say it starts with a lot of understeer. Don't get a cold tire setup. You don't want a cold tire setup and give yourself a bunch of oversteer right off the bat, because 4 or 5 laps in a 90-minute race, then you're just gonna be flying all over the place. Then you put in traction control and the brake pressure and all this stuff, and it is amazing. I don't know how these guys are gonna do it. I'm just glad I'm up here in the broadcast booth, Judson, and not down there racing, because, whoo, man, that'd be wild stuff there. So the session has opened, and we're gonna get in there, and the practice has started.
One last bit, Malone, before we start watching some cars. The thing that always drove me nuts about iRacing, and what a lot of these guys have been doing in the GT3 series, is they base their setup on a qualifying fuel because they're trying to go for the fastest lap time, which kind of makes sense. And what they would do is they would add a little spring rate, they would add a little bit more downforce when they're on full fuel load, and they were okay with that, running consistent lap times throughout season 1. Now that just doesn't fly. It does not fly, because how you set up if you set your spring rates up for what it's like running minimal fuel, it literally will not do its justice when you have full fuel load or even mid fuel load. So that damage impact, the way that people are going to be setting these cars up now, there better be more care put into this. And it's really gonna force people to come to terms with this idea of how do you put together a fundamentally sound mechanical grip based car. That's my kind of racing, so I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. And these guys have had quite a bit of practice. Ryan was nice enough to host a lot of practice sessions with the correct weather throughout the week, because remember, all this content, Circuit of the Americas, the BMW, just came out last Tuesday, and today's Saturday, so there's that window of being able to get a lot of seat time in for these guys. And I know iRacing hosted their 24 Hours de Fun, and it was the West Circuit or the East Circuit. I know that's a little bit different. We're at the full Grand Prix circuit today, and so it was nice enough for Ryan to be able to host those sessions. I know I hosted some just to try to get people in there, because you want people to get together, racing with the people they're going to be racing with during the race, and really be able to share setups, share techniques, share ideas, because these guys are pumped for this. I mean, this is huge. I've been anticipating this for weeks now. It's been on the forums. Over 5,000 people have viewed the forum post. People are excited about it. The driver list filled up in 3-4 days. We got a waiting list, a reserve list if people can't make it. I mean, this is big time. We got some really big hitters. Maybe we should talk about some of the people that are involved in the race. Our very own Jimmy B, Super Diamiros, Michael RDK, Tone the Moan, Fuzzy Falcon. You're going to see Empty Box out there. You know him as Empty Box. You're going to see Mark Hewitt for Wheel Damage. You're going to see a bunch of other people, bunch of YouTubers, bunch of streamers. This is it's a big event, and I like these hosted events that has a lot of hype, and it's just a lot of fun, because a lot of times we just rely on the official series that iRacing gives us, and it's hard to get hyped up for that. This is one big race planned way in advance. Everyone knows about it. They know it's going to be broadcast right here on GripTV. They know people are going to be streaming. They know it's going to end up on YouTube somewhere, and they want to get in there, have a lot of fun, do well. They want to do well, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. So we got people in practice right now, and we're just going to take one small little break. Don't forget to give this channel a follow, because you don't want to miss anything. You're not going to want to miss anything here. So give the channel a follow. Go ahead, get those links over there, and follow those guys, because this is GripTV, man. GripTV Nation. We started this community. It's freaking wild. It's a really good time. I'm having such a fun time in iRacing with all you people. With all you people out there, I'm just having a wonderful time. So hit the follow button. Go check out some of the other YouTube channels. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll be right back for practice. So you're not going to want to miss out that. We got a little bit of practice, then qualifying, and then the race. So please stand by. And we're all loaded in here, taking a look around at some different people. Let's see who we got here. There's Sebastian Job from Apex Racing UK. He's part of the Ryan Littlemore is part of that as well. We got Alexis Mathopoulos. He's an independent driver out there, number 123 car, driving that BMW. Whoa, and Luke Ridgway from TeamPitLanes.com, putting it into the wall. Good thing it's just practice, folks. Conrad Macau, independent driver, number 6 car, driving a Beamer. And we got a lot of people checking in from the Twitch chat, and it's great to have everyone in here. This is being broadcast live right here on Twitch, and we want to hear from you folks, so chat away here. If you got any questions about the race, we'll feel free to answer them. And as we're just trying to get to know these drivers, here's Conrad Macau and that beautiful BMW right there. Jonathan Smith the 6th. As they're coming around, we got a great camera angle here for that crazy hairpin. Man, I tell you what, some of these hairpins, Judson, they're a menace to the brake pads, the these cars are going to be put through the test there today for sure. And look who it is. It's Tony McCollum. You know him as Tone the Moan from GripTV Racing, number 17 car in the Porsche. Look at those red chromed wheels as he practices his Flying Scotsman.
Yeah, the turn 1 hairpin in particular is a monster. I mean, if you look at the elevation change and how high you go up and hitting the brakes as you're going up that hill, and then I have all of a sudden the weight shift on you as it evens out up in the top by the hairpin. It definitely causes for oversteery-like conditions, and it's hard to manage. And imagine what it does to your car over time.
Yeah, for sure. And I would imagine that these guys, since they got an hour and a half or so left in this practice, that you might see some guys running like a full fuel stint just to see what kind of, how the car's going to handle, and really trying to buckle down their setups here. And look who it is. Yep, I see Mark Hewitt out there throwing some laps down. It's Mark Hewitt. You can find him on Twitch and also YouTube. Running that bright blue and red paint scheme on that BMW. Man, that thing really shines in the sun there. So that's Wheel Damage Racing, number 19, Mark Hewitt. Good to see him out there.
Yeah, it's in the practice session, there's going to be guys really optimizing in for their qualification. Weather has been somewhat of a mystery as it's changed over the course of this week. And there's going to be other guys I hope will be running the full fuel load. Just to see what that feels like, because to jump from qualifying into a start and have this whole load of weight added to your car, obviously that's going to feel way different. So just to get that muscle memory starting to build up is probably pretty important for these guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some guys coming in just kind of practicing their pit stops, because there will be at least one pit stop for these guys during the race. It is a 90-minute race. Nobody can go that long on one tank of fuel. So it'll be interesting to see some of those guys coming into pit lane as we take a look at it right now. We got two guys sitting in there. So, yeah, these guys just getting going here. The broadcast is just getting underway here. We got practice, an hour and 40 minutes left in practice. And, these guys are throwing down some laps already, getting that rubber laid down. And who else do we got out there? Oh, look who it is, folks. It's Timo Westendahl. You know him as Super Dio Miro. He's streaming live right now. Twitch.tv/Super Dio Miro. And he elected to go with the BMW today. And that nice dark black paint job available on Trading Paints. So that's Super Dio Miro. He's pretty dang good in that BMW. Raced with him a little bit. He really knows how to thrash it around. And we're going to try to get to know most of these guys out here as they filter on in. And Timu Valkeryavi, number 20 car from Riot Box Lunchbox Racing. It's Timu, number 20 car. He's driving a McLaren. First McLaren we've seen out there so far. So good to see the McLarens out there. Good mix here. Good balance with the cars.
Yeah, actually, Matt, I'm looking at Jose Almeida, and I'm looking at how he has his Porsche set up. And if you take a quick glance at that as he's driving over, battling that BMW there, you're going to see that he has his front spring height way lower than his rear, and that's generating a lot of actually downforce naturally because of that angle, the wedge angle of that car. And if you look behind him at that BMW, how it's evenly set up with some space, it's going to allow him a lot more flexibility as he's going to abuse the curbs, probably anticipating some bump and rubs on the apex markers on the S corners. So it's interesting to see the slight changes of these cars and how that's going to play an impact into this race.
Yeah, for sure. And I would imagine some of these lap times are coming in right now. Holy cow. Martin Kroenke, number 89 car, driving a BMW, threw down a 2:05.7 already. So these guys definitely have the pace early on here. Like I said, we've had a bunch of hosted sessions out for people, and for them to get some seat time in here, get their setups going. So Looks like these guys are definitely ready to go here. It is a beautiful Saturday. Just want to welcome everyone on in. We're taking a look at Sebastian Job from Apex Racing. He's coming around the S's right now. Darren Seal, another McLaren out there from Legends Racing, number 37. Beautiful paint job on that thing. Man, I just love it when the sun's shining on them paints. You can see every single little detail, and it's just an amazing thing to watch. Adam Gosling from USCSR, number 27 car, driving a BMW, looking good out there. Was able to post a 207.3.
Just seems overall right now as these drivers are coming around the course, it just seems like they're really smooth, just slowly starting to dial up their pace. It's pretty amazing to watch them just stay in their consistent line. It looks like a lot of time has been spent amongst a lot of these drivers developing their race line, which is going to be a key factor when you're in a 90-minute race, is having that the quick line once all the cars kind of situate themselves out.
Yep, that's right, and let's bring him in here right now, the man of the hour, Ryan Littlemore. Ryan Littlemore putting this thing together. Very nice guy. It's just a great event, and it hasn't even begun yet. So we got Ryan Littlemore in the booth with us. You see him out there. How you doing, Ryan?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Literally just got back from work as we speak.
Oh man, had to cutting it close there, huh, buddy?
Yeah, you know me, Malone.
Oh, I know it. So, yep, we're live to the nation in practice here. I figured I'd give you some time to let everyone know what's going on, and man, it's just a great event you got here. So tell us about it.
Well, it's obviously around a brand new track circuit that iRacing brought out this week, and they also brought out the BMW, which I'm currently driving at the minute, and it's brilliant, I will say. And I wanted to recreate preparation for the GT3 series that is going to be very popular with the Porsche, the McLaren, and the BMW, and what a better way to kick Season 2 off with 2 brand new contents on iRacing and put on an endurance event for the viewers, my followers on YouTube and iRacing, and some new people that I've never met before who have come on to put the time out from their busy schedules to come and race here tonight. So I want to give everyone who's signed up a massive thank you for taking the time out to come and showcase the new content, and also to you and Judson for commentating on tonight. I really appreciate it a lot. And also a shout out as well to the man who's done the overlay for tonight's event, Timo, who I know is streaming at the minute. So massive props to him for getting it done, and it really does mean a lot. And we've got some prizes to give away tonight as well. One, I've already mentioned in the chat, but I'll say it again. The viewers who are going to be watching this on your broadcast will have a chance to win a prize, which is $5 worth of iRacing credits in the race itself. Drivers who finish more than 75% of the race will get put into a pot, and then I will draw it out, and it'll be at random, and the person will win 5 iRacing credits, and then the driver with the least number of incidents or gets a clean race will automatically get 5 iRacing credits as well.
So, Ryan, talk to us a little bit about what was it like to assemble this thing? I mean, there's a lot of work that you've been doing behind the scenes, just getting this thing ready, managing the list of drivers, putting together the concept of this race. I mean, can you give us an idea of what it's like to put this thing together and to finally see it unfold today, here at Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah, this is literally the first time I've ever hosted an event or even a practice session, so I had to get a bit of help from people on how to set it all up and that, but managing the drivers was quite tricky because I'm a uni student and I don't really have the time to go on the forums, and when I'm in uni, when I've got coursework deadlines and work to do, so I'd have to wait till the end of the day to or update it. And a couple of weeks ago I was in Amsterdam and a whole flurry of people signed up, and I can't do it while I was away because I had no internet, any access to a computer, and getting back to that was quite stressing time when I got back from Amsterdam on there. But yeah, it's a good learning curve for me, and I'm hoping to plan some more hosted events over the course of the year. Maybe I might do a charity event coming very soon, and might just casually have another invitational, but might be on the ovals side this time instead of the road. But yeah, if anyone wants to host an event, then straightforward. iRacing has a great feature where they can show you what to do, and obviously you have to have you need credits to charge up. That's the only issue I have with the hosting, but apart from that, it's fine.
Well, relax now. You finally arrived. The race is here. Good luck, buddy. Have fun.
Yeah, and Ryan, I just want to thank you for allowing us to do the broadcast here. It's a great opportunity for us to kind of, showcase what we got. Like you said, Timo, man, I can't thank Timo enough either for the overlay. And I'm just really excited about the race. The suspense is killing me. We got another hour and a half of practice before qualifying. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you for putting all this together, and thank you again for letting us broadcast it. And good luck out there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have put an incredible job with what the broadcast of Jimmy Broadbent's Lotus 79 races, and Matt, I've known you for quite a while now from Rutger's Kev's Invitational, and being a nice lad, and your broadcasts have been pretty impressive. And I think it's time for my viewers to, and the racers in here that have followed me since I started YouTube a couple of years ago, to look into your channel, and also Judson with his amazing commentary as well from watching the Lotus Grand Prix. Suzuka was particularly one of my favourites to watch, and yeah, you guys are putting on an incredible job, and I want to thank you all.
Yep, thank
Really
you, and
appreciate it.
tell people where they can find you again all over the internets.
Twitter, it's at RyanL83. YouTube, it's Ryan Littlemore 1, but if you put in RyanL83 on YouTube, it'll probably come up with something. Facebook's the same, Google Plus is the same, and I have a video coming out in a bit anyway, so you might get some more viewers coming in.
Oh man, alrighty then. Well, thanks Ryan, and good luck out there, and we'll talk to you soon and throughout the race, I'm sure, before qualifying, all that good stuff. So get some practice in, buddy.
I won't have time. I'm going to have dinner in a bit.
Oh no.
But as you said, some of the guys I'm going to be probably jumping in during the race and just giving reports and stuff, but I don't care. This is just for fun, having a good time with people that I race with and on other sim racing games, so it'll be a good evening. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Alright, buddy, we'll see you out there.
Alright, cheers guys, I'll see you in a bit.
Take care.
Alrighty then, that was Ryan Littlemore. He's the one who put this on, so big thanks to him. Just got a little chat with him there, and we'll be talking with him throughout the race, I'm sure, and before qualifying, all that good stuff. As these quite a few people in the practice session here. Maybe we'll try to go through some of these guys again here, see some of the new faces out there. We got Craig Parks from TeamPitlanes.com running that number 22 Porsche. Looking good. He was able to put up a 210, so he's just getting out there, just getting going there. Darren Seal, Luke Ridgway from TeamPitlanes.com is out there as well. So good time all around. Looks like everyone's pretty much made their way into the server. We'll probably get some more people in here coming up. But yeah, as this thing fills up. So he said, it is going to be a fun race. It's good to have everyone here, from everybody that, is big in iRacing, and, in my opinion, some of the stuff that, that we do and that Ryan does especially, and Matt Orr, Empty Box, and all these other guys, we really do more as far as advertising and marketing than iRacing does, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when you get a bunch of hobbyists who love what they're doing, right? I mean, we like to do it, we like to race it, we like to, broadcast it. We appreciate the races, and nothing's more disappointing than when you spend so much time getting ready to watch a real life Formula One race and it turns out to be a doozy. Here, man, it's nonstop. It's so much nicer. But Malone, I'm going to take a quick break here, and I will be back shortly.
Yep, go down to the concession stands. Jetson, give me some of that lemonade, as I'm getting pretty thirsty up here. Yeah, and I'm excited to see Michael Rasmussen out here. If anybody's seen any of the past broadcasts from Michael, he was able to put up some world records during the GT3 at Road America. Man, just totally dominated that track. And I know this track is a heck of a lot different than Road America, but I'm just really hoping for him to do well out there. He's got the skills, that's for sure. And those beautiful, bright chrome wheels. We know through the last update of iRacing, these guys are able to paint their wheels now. So, man, they really pop out there. So good to see that going on. Yep, and we also see another familiar face out there. That's Jimmy Broadbent, the Stinging Bee, Jimmy B. Check him out, twitch.tv/Jimmy_BEE to see his in-car view. He's got that Beamer out there looking good. Those red wheels, trying to navigate through some of those curbs. Man, I tell you what, let's talk a little bit about these S's, because these S's, yeah, there's those yellow bumpers on the side, and that can cause major damage. If you just hit one of those, as we see some of the guys going through the S's right now, you got to stay away from those things. In any type of car, you're going to have some issues.
I'm a believer that apex markers, such as those that you see on the S-turns, should be required on all tracks. It's a great tool for people to line up when they can throttle input after they've attacked the corner. Obviously, that's really critical on the S-turns, and it does a lot for drivers as far as how they can see where they are if they're coming in too shallow on the apex of the S-turns, or if they're coming in too deep. But to have that kind of throttle, or that kind of signal there that drivers can use to gauge if they're going to throttle early through apex or throttle mid-apex or late, to have those markers there really helps on consistency.
Yeah, and it'll really, for some of these wild flying Scotsman's kind of guys that are, try to cut every corner and do everything they can really be an issue. So it really does make everyone just kind of fall in line there, and forces you to be disciplined, which is good. But we're just taking a look at a little bit of the weather conditions, just to give you guys an idea of what kind of conditions we're running here. Very warm day out there, 77 degrees with a track temperature of 104 degrees, so very warm with a humidity of 80%. Not much wind to speak of, but that's going to play an issue too with these tires. Long 90-minute race, and these guys are really trying to push hard in certain stages of the race. So we'll see how that comes into play. Alrighty then, Judson, we got these guys still trying to throw down some good lap times here. Let's see what the fastest one is. Still by Martin, 2:05.5. Man, he got that like right off the bat, and that's the time to beat so far.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical that guy's running qualifying trim right now, just trying to gear up. I think right now we've completely understated the importance of where your grid position is, especially on a 60-car grid such as this. Being out front early is going to be really important, avoiding the cluster that's going to happen up on turn 1 once they go green. So it looks like he's putting a lot of emphasis on that. I would imagine race pace through 90 minutes. I'm going to see these fast guys, I'm going to say around a 2:07, and maybe even 8s. What do you think, Malone?
Well, I take a totally different approach when it comes to these 90-minute races. I mean, if anybody's... Hey, let's talk about me for a while. Hey, has anybody seen me do any endurance races? I seem to keep it pretty clean. I've ran Inside Sim Racing's 120 Minutes of Thunder with 0 incidents with the McLaren. I've ran the 60-minute Road Warrior Series that ran recently with the McLaren. And, whoa, we see Martin really take a dive on one of those S-turns. But, I take a different approach. Hot lapping doesn't mean anything when it comes to a 90-minute race. It's all about keeping your car clean. And we know just a little tap from somebody can just totally screw you the rest of the race with the aero damage. You're not going to be able to have a good high top speed. And, That's the one thing I look for. I can tell different drivers the way their mentality is right off the bat with how aggressive they're going to be. For me, my thought is just let the crazies by, you know what I mean, and just run your race with a 90-minute race, especially at Circuit of the Americas. It's really you versus the track. It's not necessarily you versus the other drivers. It's you're facing the track. It's you in the track. You got to do what you can and keep the car clean. It's the most important thing that I can tell from this. I mean, how many do you got any experience with it, Judson?
You're a zinger here.
You're more of the sprint racer, huh? Aggressive driver, trying to get in there, trying to take every inch you can get.
Yeah, I mean, optimal. What was it over at Spa in the GT3? Was that 60 minutes? 70 minutes?
Those were 70-minute races. Yep.
Yeah, those were keen for me. Those kind of sprints are more optimal for me than the endurance racing goes. A driver has a lot of discipline on developing a consistent driving line, and to make it fast too is a whole different beast. I like racing the cars, and I do have a fast line from time to time depending on the track, but it's certainly I like to manipulate other drivers more than it is just running fast laps.
Yeah, that's true, and we got some more guys coming into the server. We got Rob Streetmans running that number 23 BMW. We got Callum Knighton. He's part of Riot Box Lunchbox Racing, number 5 car out there with that monster paint job. We got James Stevenson from Mad Cow Racing with that number 426 car, that BMW. And David Sestello, the number 058 from USCSR, David Sestello running a BMW. Daniel Martin IV, another McLaren out there. So I love to see the McLarens out there. I know there was that new update we talked about, and these guys are definitely on the pace, as his fastest lap so far in practice is a 2:09.5. And Michael Rasmussen showing some moves out there. He's got the 4th best time in practice with a 2:06 flat, so definitely someone to contend with, as he's got that number 23 car running for GripTV Racing. But I'd say so far the story of the day is number 89 car, Martin Kronkate. How do you say his last name? He's got Crunk. He's got the best time. Hopefully he doesn't crunk over any of those bumpers there, because that would be an issue. And Timo Westendal with that 9th best time running that number 9 car, GripTV Racing, 2:07.1. So he's looking good out there.
Now, the other thing to factor in, too, is that we have, an hour and a half actual race. We got 30 minutes of qualifying before that, and then 2 hours of practice before that. How much mental strain are they exerting themselves in this practice before the race, and will that impact their performance in the actual race? That's a lot of time to be turning laps on the same track before you even get into, the competitive aspect of this whole event.
Yeah, it really is, and like you said, well, like Ryan was saying, he's going to go have a little something to eat here during this practice. Maybe a good idea to get out there, run some quick laps right away, get the feel for it, get your muscle memory kicking in, and then maybe take a little break, do a little zen, mix a little tea up there, and get back on out there, a little bit more practice before qualifying. You never know what the strategy is going to be for these guys, but you're right, mental wear and tear. Physical wear and tear, depending on how high these guys are running their force feedback. I know I always tend to turn it down a little bit during these 90-minute races just to give my forearms a little break. But, yeah, you never know. Some guys with their rigs, they're running H-pattern shifters. They're doing a lot of moving around. So, yeah, physical wear and tear is definitely going to be an issue here, considering the long practice times, qualifying, and then the actual race. So, yeah, hopefully these guys take a little break, do a little stretching out, do some squats, loosen up a little bit, so before the race. Alrighty then, as we see these guys turning laps right here on turn 1. Yep, just want to make sure everyone's got their paint going. Trading paints is getting a little finicky here. Want to make sure everyone's livery is looking good. May have some issues with that. But it don't matter. It's the driving that we want to see, right, folks? And thanks for everybody joining in. If you got any questions, we got some people in chat checking in. So just read a little bit here what's going on here. We got Big Gunner, and he is the proud owner of 5 brand new kittens that were delivered last night. So Big Gunner, Big Gun LP, I guess is his name. He's in chat, and he's enjoying the little practice session here. We got 1 hour left in practice as these guys do everything they can to try to get their setups going just right. And we got Tozer Dozer, best Twitch handle ever, checking in chat. And Tozer Dozer's there. We got Wonka 3 Dub. We got Jonas Van Wiver Inc. and Hans Plays Games, Looney Shaker, Rank Up Gamers. We got Skatchura. We got a bunch of people. We got Keith Ritchie. And just thanks for everybody joining on in. We got 0988 Oak and 2Max Guru, Atomic Moth. Hey, go check out Atomic Moth's Twitch channel for some good old racing. Yeah, I like it when he has his Twitch title, the Driving a Car. So that's what he does, Atomic Moth. Go check him out on Twitch. Like I said, Big Gunner's here. Boston Brew 64, CCJ Punisher's here. Clunsy's here. Crash Out Steve is here. You know him as Steve Dixon. It's Crash Out Steve is here. And Cyclop 34, Dax 22's here. Divinemu is here. Drummer Nerd is here. Entrez, Eraser TM, Eric 2397's here. Good to see you, buddy. Falkek, Fribster, Grumblecat, Hans Plays Games is in here. Hoo-Ha 1172's watching. HSS Gamin's in here. HSS Gaming, he's on Twitch as well. Go check him out. Javel is here. Intrex 1020's here. Jonas is here. Just call me Remco. Okay, Remco. Remco's in here. Keith Ritchie is in here. Kesha 28's in here. Lammer is in here. Hey, Looney Shaker's in here. He's a Mustang driver. Good to see you. And Orvlax's in here. Painter Ted's in here. Peace Woody's in here. Pretty Nerd. Rank Up Gamers, you know him as Dustin. Rank Up Gamers is in here. Rushy's in here. Sketchura. The Showstoppers in here. Smudge RUK's in here. Sonamafa is in here. Screwed that name up. Taking Names is in here. I'm taking names right now. The Gonzalazi. Wait a minute. The F Gonzalazi is in here. The Rage Lives On is in here. Thomas Fragtrup's in here. Timo Hassan's in here. And Toka 2 Freak. Top Gun Sarge. Tugboat 34. USMC The Man is in here. Wonka and Woodman. Yamaha 19. And don't forget, Yavillion is in here too. It's in alphabetical order, so there you go, folks. And I'm sure we got a lot more people watching that don't have Twitch accounts. If you don't have a Twitch account, it's totally free. You just create a username and password like you do everything else, and then you can get involved into the chat room, and maybe I'll read your chat question. Who knows? Looney Shaker's checking in saying, I hope my Mustang starts next week. It's been Park 13. Yeah, we're trying to get through week 13, folks, and just waiting for Season 2 to start, and it's in big anticipation. So as we're just taking a look here in practice, we're looking right now at Jimmy Broadbent, the Stinging Bee. Jimmy B, Jimmy _ BEE. And it's not Willy Wonka, it's Who Knew. Oh yeah, Who Knew's in here, not Willy Wonka. Thank you, buddy. Who Knew, he spells the E. He's using the number 3 as the letter E, so that kind of screws me up there. But, yep, Who Knew is in here. And, yep. And Big Gunner says they're coming around. That's right, folks. They're coming around right now. There's Jimmy Broadbent. 21st in practice now. He just put together a pretty good lap of a 208 flat. So looking good right there. Here's his driver lap time. His best is a 2:08. Oh, I lied. It's a 2:08.1. 2:08 flat sounds a lot better. And if you want to see his in-car cam, head on over to twitch.tv/Jimmy_BEE. He's trying to catch Michael Rasmussen right there, I see. And don't forget about the Flying Scotsman, Tony McCullum. Well, look at him go, folks. He's got a 2:07.8 already put together, so he's looking good out there. I tell you what, Tony's put more seat time into this Porsche than anybody else I know in iRacing. So good to see him out there. Good to see him out there to see his in-car view and to hear all his Tonyisms. Head on over. There he goes doing the Flying Scotsman. He's practicing hard. Head on over to twitch.tv/ToneTheMoan. To see his in-car view. So good times, good times. And we're going to wait until qualifying starts to do some driver interviews. I know that we have some guys that want to do some driver interviews, so we're going to bring them in a little bit later in the broadcast. Right now we're just kind of hanging out with the people in the Twitch chat, just kind of hanging out, taking a look at different drivers, and just watching some practices. We got an hour left, and whoa, someone goes wide right there. So, yep, we're just hanging out here. Thanks for joining, everybody. This is GripTV, your home for everything online motorsport simulations and other fun stuff. And here's our leader still in practice with the best time. Holy crap, he just beat it. A 2:04.8. And we may have... Judson, you got anything to say about this Martin guy? He's freaking flying out there. He should share his setup. I think he should share his setup.
Yeah, that's dangerously close to the real world record time. That actually could be the world record as we're going to go into Circuit of the Americas, without a doubt.
Well, look who's not too far behind. Sebastian Job from Apex Racing, able to put together a 2:05.7. So, man, it's just practice now, folks. It's just practice, and they're gonna have to redo all these fast laps in the qualifying session to be able to get gridded high up. So, hey, and look who it is, folks. It's Andy Dalton sitting in the pits there. Go check out Andy's stream at Sim Racing Dalton on Twitch. Andy Dalton, really great guy. Love his stream. Good to see him out there. Yeah, pit lane's pretty busy. Maybe these guys are doing like full fuel stints and stuff. As we just taking a look at the pit lane right now. And yeah, we're just in practice, folks. So don't get too excited here. Nothing official has started yet. We're just taking a look at pit lane. And just listen to that motor. Just listen to it. This is Jesper Peterson from Apex Racing, 777 car. He's out there running laps, folks. And a lot of these guys were nice enough to allow us to put some GoPros on different parts of their car. I know it adds to the weight, maybe slows them down a little bit, but it's definitely worth it for the broadcast. And so we were able to hook up some GoPros. We got our interns out there also with some good camera views. And so we're trying to catch all the live racing action when it happens.
And what Malone means by our budget for GoPros is we have the little interns, the mini interns out on the hood. We taped them on, duct taped, to get those kind of camera views. We do what we can here at GripTV.
Yeah, we just forced them to, to make them lose a lot of weight. We don't want to add too much weight to the cars, so we just forced them to not eat anything for the last week. So they're out there, and we just strapped them down. Duct tape does seem to work good for interns, so the duct tape is flying out there. So yeah, good job. And we also got some guys sitting shotgun with the camera pointed right at the drivers. So that's always good to get to know the guys. A little character development here. As we see Carl Modig, independent driver, number 28, sitting in the pits, just doing some zen there, getting ready.
You know, Malone, I'm watching Sebastian Job, currently second in the practice session here with a 205.757. The way I'm watching this car turn around, it doesn't look like the body is exerting a lot of weight difference. He's able to get through cut the corners, hit the apexes with pretty much ease. So again, I'm speculating. I think these guys on the top are running their qualifying setup, qualifying trims right now, seeing if they can get their line developed before qualifying starts.
Yeah, for sure. And you might see a lot of wrecks here in practice. These guys trying to find different lines, trying to pick up all the good stuff. And it's just practice is a great time to really push the limits of the car and see what it can do. Maybe they can find another couple tenths out there. Would be nice, so we'll see what happens. And, man, that corner right now that Sebastian's on right now, golly, it's just like, what do you do, It's do you just bomb it in there and get the car turned around, or do you try to set it up? I mean, racecraft is going to come into play here. You're going to see a lot of guys going for that inside line. And, hopefully they can keep it clean through most of the corners and stuff. But, man, you just have to wonder, how these guys are going to handle it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if drivers opt to pinch guys to the outside to force them outside the optimal apex line as they're going through turns. I think down the back stretch to that hairpin there is going to be really critical, where you can get your car right next to another car and force them to wait for you to turn in before they do. Especially now that we have a mixture of quite the pro and the AMs. I mean, by identity, this Ryan Invitational is the ultimate pro-am that we've seen so far in iRacing. Yeah, the craft and how you're going to force situations is going to be really critical.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just really these 90-minute races, man. It's just totally different than anything else. I get super nervous for these things, and I hope these guys are able to keep it together. And but yeah, you're right with the setups and the different lines these guys take and how wide these. I mean, we're just taking a look at turn 1 right here. I mean, I could count 6 different ways going into this turn right here. As we see some of the guys taking those different lines. We just saw 3 cars go by, and there was 3 different lines through that turn. So, that can depend on your setup. It can depend on all that stuff. So, very interesting.
I'm actually shocked how little we've seen drivers practice approaching the yellow corners for pit entry. None of them are pushing it too hard to slam on the brakes. It seems like there isn't much emphasis on how they're going to run their pit strategy. In fact, it'll be interesting to see how what people decide to do, if it's going to be more focused on full fuel tank load and then go with a splash, or if they're going to try to moderate their races into 2 equal halves. McLaren's going to be a big winner at the end of the race, without a doubt. It's going to be very fast when it's lower on fuel, and we also know that they go on super long fuel loads on top of that. How is that going to play into the guys that are going to be in the roof, or even the BMWs that start out really strong and start to kind of feather out towards the end of the race?
Yeah, you never know, and I know that some of these guys have just gotten brand new skins, so we're trying to get those loaded up here, as we want everyone to be sporting there. Whoa, and Ryan Littlemore showing that oversteer there on turn 1. That's definitely something these guys are going to have to watch out for, as you want to get down on the power as soon as you can, but the elevation on that turn will get you every time. But yeah, we're just taking a look at turn 1. Turn 1, I tell you what, it's going to be dicey. It's going to be very, very dicey. And let's just take a look at who. Oh my gosh, Martin was able to put down a 2:04.8. I think that's pretty much the time to beat. Maybe he can replicate that in qualifying. You never know.
Yeah, when you're getting down to a 2:04.8, you got a lot of things going for you. You obviously have the fuel weight down. You're running a line as tight to optimal as he possibly can get it, and I'm wondering also if he was able to utilize some draft points to also improve his time when he was running these laps. And don't forget too, though I haven't seen him run yet on the 2:04.849, and I don't discount his driving abilities, of course not. Maybe he's been doing some Flying Scotsmans too, because these laps do record, clean or not.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of hard to say within the practice because, yeah, like you said, you get a couple off tracks, it's still going to count it. It'll still be put up on the leaderboard. And, maybe they do a couple little Flying Scotsmans just to kind of put the intimidation out there. The mind games have already begun here, folks, as maybe some of these guys are just trying to get on top of the leaderboard, just to kind of, intimidate the other drivers before qualifying has begun.
It certainly is a time in which drivers can posture against each other. You can bluff a lot on speed. I'm surprised there isn't more chatter amongst the drivers, confusing them with maybe some white lies about exactly what their intent is during the practice. There's a lot of things that can skew a person's judgment and cause them to overdrive by simply just creating a bit of a false environment during the practice session.
Yeah, that's right, and yeah, you never know. I don't have access to any of the driver chat or anything, so I'm sure these, everyone's friends here, and but it is fun to mess around with your friends, just to, yeah, like you said, though, the white lies may be flying here, and I know a lot of the guys, how much fuel you going with, and maybe they'll give them different strategies and stuff, but yeah, it's all in good fun. And it really comes down to really owning what you got and being able to put it all together. And we do have some new drivers out there. Let's try to get to know these guys as we're following along with Tom Stanley from Radical Racing UK in that number 961 car. And he's got the 19th best time right now. Who else we got? Simon Carr. I don't think we've seen him out there. 917 car. Maybe we have. So Simon Carr's out there in the McLaren. We got Nigel out there, number 69 car, running a McLaren. David Sestello. Oh, look at this guy. Jakic Barnes, number 81 car, running that Wrangler BMW. And Tommy Martinez, number 43 car. Looks like he just got that bad boy right from the factory. No paint job whatsoever. And Pete Bevan, also getting that nice white paint job there in the McLaren, number 39 car. James Stevenson from Mad Cow Racing's out there. Let's get to know this guy. His fastest lap was a 2:06.5. Looking good in that Beamer. Carl Modig, independent driver, number 28, 9th best time with a 2:06.8.
Mind you, let's remind the viewers of what's at stake just beyond the drivers. There's a lot of teams that have invested a lot of resources to get their drivers into this race and to perform well. You know, it's a bragging rights kind of thing, you know. Um, these teams compete at the pro level, they compete in the GT3 level, they really posture to try to recruit, new driving talent and showing good turnout here, in getting a good place at the end of the race is as important to the recruiting effort is kind of elevating your prestige for a driving team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we were saying, these guys have been putting together a lot of seat time, and you know what? You got to think of here is, even though we have the public sessions open and the hosted sessions open, it doesn't stop guys from just going solo and testing car on track with the correct weather. So you have to wonder how many guys were actually doing that. So a little secret testing, a little secret data collecting, if you will. So we'll see how that comes into play.
Practice is winding down. We're through an hour and 17 minutes at this point. I would imagine these drivers are starting to have the nerves develop as qualifying is looming ever so closer. And these drivers, the weight's going to start to fall into their hands and their feet as they're trying to manipulate this car. There's going to be some urgency about making sure that they run a little practice with full race fuel, understand what the car feels like when it's cold in comparison to hot, and also get time in to make sure that you're prepared for qualifying. A lot of these drivers will run qualifying early, go full race fuel for most of the practice, and then you might see them towards the end of the practice go switch back to qualifying to prepare for the qualifying events at end. It's a balancing act as far as what these drivers can do to make sure that they're prepared for not only qualifying but jumping into the race right afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. And I know how it feels where you're running around in practice, you're feeling okay, you're nice and calm. And then that qualifying's over, and then you see that grid button, and all of a sudden the blood rushes out of your face, and you start getting the shakes, your palms get sweaty, you're just like, what the heck is going on? That adrenaline boost gets you, and all of a sudden sometimes you forget how to drive the car. I've had that feeling many times, but that's why we love it so much, that feeling of excitement and the overall just anticipation and the suspense that builds with one of these races when you have such a large field. Like we said, folks, it's a maximum of 60 cars are going to be out here. Hopefully everyone can get connected. There's no electronic issues and all that stuff, and we can get everyone on the grid because that's what we want to see. We don't want to see anybody miss out on anything. But no matter how it falls, we're going to have quite a few drivers. As we got 45 drivers into the session that have loaded up into the session already. So it's very, very interesting. And look who it is, folks. It's Matt Orr, you know him as Empty Box. And there he is, folks, from the Midwest. Empty Box, number 85. And he's out there running some laps. Good to see Matt Orr out there. And I know everybody wants to see him. So good for him for showing up. And, man, you better look out, folks, because he can put some laps together. And it's just great to see him out there.
I'd challenge the GripTV Nation as we're watching these practices. Are there any names that stick out for you that you think are going to be the race favorite for today? Do you have any favorites in this race that you want to win? Would like to hear that so we might have some influence on who we may be focusing on through the length of this 90-minute race.
Well, my favorite to win is Michael Rasmussen. I may be a homer saying that, but Michael Rasmussen, he knows what's up. I mean, this guy, he's not going to give you an inch. Race with him many a times. You give him 1 square inch of the track, and he's going to take it. So, the thing about Michael Rasmussen is that he's done so much of this stuff. He's just, it's an instinct thing with this guy, and it's just fun to see him out there racing. It's going to be a lot of fun to see him competing. Hopefully he can keep it clean, but I'd say I'd put my money Michael Rasmussen to be able to really compete and really put the pressure on some of these leaders like a Martin, or a Sebastian or something. These guys obviously have been able to put up some really good lap times here in practice, but a 90-minute race compared to hot lapping in practice, it's night and day difference.
Well, and Malone, I'm wondering also, we're all kind of discounting the fact that there's going to be wrecks that happen, and there's going to certainly be a wreck on turn one. Once we go green, that could take out some of these front runners real quick. Just because they're running the fast lap times, that's not even close to half the battle of a 90-minute race. So it's anybody's game here. It's going to come down to consistency.
Yeah, that's right. Consistency is going to be a really big thing, and like we talked about before, as we watch Matt Orr head through the S's. Those S's, man, with those curbs, one wrong move. I'm not sure how many laps it's going to end up being, but one wrong move over them bumpers, and your whole race could be ruined. And we talk about the one-car accidents. Those one-car accidents you just have to avoid. You cannot have a one-car accident in a race like this. That's just going to kill you. So you got to watch out for that. If there is contact, it's usually just a racing thing. Hopefully these guys know what's up as far as turn one. I know there's going to be a driver's briefing to get these guys all on the same page as far as how to handle some of these turns, and with a rolling start, brand new track, brand new content. So it's more about just survival those first couple laps, and then just getting into a rhythm and trying to avoid those one-car accidents.
I find it interesting with Matt Orr that he opted to go with the BMW over his usual McLaren, especially now that the McLaren has beefed up since last season.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that too. Watching him, he's got quite a few videos out there with him in the McLaren, and he's one of the best with the McLarens, and for him to pick the BMW. Yeah, that is interesting, but I think a driver of his skill and his instincts and stuff, it may not matter as much, but hey, maybe he just wants to test out the new content and all that good stuff, and just have some fun out there.
So we've got a high flyer of a prediction here. Y Villian says he's going to see a McLaren all top three. That's a big prediction.
Wait, he's predicting top 3, 1, 2, 3, all McLarens?
1, 2, 3, all McLarens.
Well, like I said before, watch out for those McLarens late in the race, as it seems like, like you were saying with the BMWs, kind of just shred at the end. But yeah, I wouldn't say I agree with them, but you're going to see some McLarens be up there for sure. And we take a look at the super uphill turn one right here, as we see a bunch of guys coming through. Man, I'm telling you, this turn one, I'm just glad I'm up here in the booth with you, Judson, and not out there on the racetrack. I'll tell you the truth, because with this many cars going through, it's going to be wild stuff.
Well, remember too, Nation, that because we've all gathered to watch these guys duke it out, it certainly is interesting, because we're going to be applying a lot of pressure for these drivers to make sure that they perform well, since all eyes are on them. You don't see that very often in their normal day-to-day races, so to have this kind of showing amongst the diverse channels that GripTV is offering that's displaying this race, there's a lot of eyes on these guys, and I would imagine that is in the back of their head a little bit as they're going through that kind of pressure to perform, to look good. I don't like looking bad, as you all know, and I tend to rage fit when I don't do too well.
Oh boy, Judson. Well, that's all right. Yep, we got 34 minutes left in practice, And these guys are still trying to get through that paint booth, trying to get those paints just right as they put the final touching on them, trying to get those pinstripes working just right and their logos up just right. So we're going to see if we can't get that going.
It's interesting. Martin Kronk posted that 204, and now he's been sitting in the pit stalls, just looming right now. So I'm wondering if he's set to go. It seems like he was the driving force in this practice. He's ready to move on. He's not exerting any more energy than he needs. Even 2 hours of practice before you go into qualifying race exerts a lot of mental energy. So I think it's really wise of him to just be sitting, waiting, preparing himself for what lies ahead for him.
Yep, and we're just taking a look at our very own Tony McCollum. You know him as Tone the Moan. Let's see if he's practicing his flying Scotsman. You never know.
Did we ever get a decision on this, if there's a limit on safety incidents?
As far as I know, Judson, there is no incident limit, and there is no limit on the amount of times you can get a free reset. So, as far as I know, there's no limit. But don't forget, folks, for the racer that gets 0 incidents, I'm sure there'll be multiple cars with 0 incidents. They win $5 in iRacing credit. So there is an incentive on keeping it clean here as we look at Tone the Moan representing with that GripTV paint. Jimmy Broadbent's out there running some laps. His best time so far is a 2:08.1 in that BMW. Looking good out there. Hey, there's Fuzzy Falcon. He finally got his paint working. And Jay Russell from Ridebox Lunchbox Racing, he's out there too. Yeah, not 100% sure on why Trading Paints isn't working, but Trading Paints is definitely one of the best programs you can get. And it's highly endorsed by iRacing. And like we said, we got some people checking in on Twitch. A lot of people watching this live right here on GripTV. Thanks everybody for joining us. And we're just getting underway here. Holy crapola, lots of people out here. Maybe we'll run down the names. You want to run down the names, Judson?
Yeah, why don't we go through them?
Okay. 2 Max Gurus in here. AFG Pro Killer, Agridu, Atomic Moth, Big Gunner, Boston Brew, Car Racing Games, CCJ Punisher, Crash Out Steve, Cyclops 34, Dave Woodhouse is in here. Check out Dave Woodhouse's stream. Dax 22, Divanivo, Drummer Nerd, Intrez, Eric, Falcake, Fripster, Giant Man, Grumble Cat, Hawks Gaming, Hans Plays Games, Hoo-Ha 1172, him, Yavel, Intrex, Joe Bun, Just Call Me Remco, okay Remco, Keith Ritchie, Kesha, Kids, Lemire, McDirt, Metaphone, Mercy Kev, Mystery, Noan, Peace Woody, Pretty Nerd, Racer Ron, Rank Up Gamers, Rushy, Sketcher, Smudger, UK, Sonoma Fod, Taking Names, The Gonzalez, Thomas Fragder, Tim Mohassan, Top Gun Sarge, Dozer, Tugboat, 34, Universe Revenue. Hey, wait a minute, Universe Revenue. That's you, Judson Kane, USMC The Man, Who Knew, and Woodman, Yamaha, and Yavillion, and lots of other people checking in that probably don't have a Twitch account, but that's all right. We got Super Diamiro Showdown 1983. Wait a minute. And Moobot and iRacer Bill. iRacer Bill's checking in. Alrighty then, folks. Wow.
Well done.
Hey, thanks. Sorry I was so slow. Righty then. And Daniel Martin, the 4th, is out there. We got a bunch of people. LJ Garnett, 3rd best time in practice with a 2:05.7. Looking good, looking good. So, we're going to have this practice session, and then the qualifying will begin. But we're just kind of hanging out here with everybody from GripTV Nation, and the official broadcast will begin shortly. When we have just a little bit time left in practice, we're going to be doing some driver interviews, and then we're going to be covering the qualifying for this race, and then the actual race will begin. Remember, folks, it is a 90-minute race. Pit stops will be in play, and we got 3 different cars out here: the BMW, brand new to iRacing, the McLaren, and the Porsche. So it's going to be wild stuff, multi-car, single-class racing right here on GripTV for the RyanL83 Invitational. 60 cars are going to try to make it onto the starting grid. We got about 50 cars into the server already as they're trying to navigate through turn 1. Whoa, someone cuts it right there. Going to get a slowdown, but it's okay, folks. It's just practice. And it's going to be a lot of fun, so hope you can stick around, and we're going to get this show on the road officially here coming up soon. So you're definitely going to, if you got a little bit of time now to go grab some lemonade or some coffee or some lunch and take a seat, make sure all your internet tubes are nice and cleaned out. And whoa, we got a guy going right into the wall there. Looks like he had some issues. And whoa, who is that? That must have been Tone the Moan as he's trying out the Flying Scotsman. But yeah, just a great time here with everybody. Judson, can't imagine this broadcast, being. We wouldn't even be doing it if it wasn't for you being here. So I do thank you. You've helped out GripTV quite a bit. I think the community is really attached onto you. I can only go into so many things about as far as your reputation as the Judd, but it's been fun,
I hear that's what some people call me, and there's a lot of rumors flying around with the Judd, but it's always my pleasure, Matt. I am a big believer in what's going on here with GripTV. I'm a big believer in the nation. It's been a lot of fun being around these guys, racing with them. They put up with my antics, punting, what have you. So it's always a pleasure. I'll do my best to give us the game, the play-by-play once this race gets going.
Oh, Martin Kroenke is out there, and he's in the pit lane right now. He's the one who put together that 2:04.8. Holy cow, folks, he's definitely the one to beat. And we're going to try to get a word in with some of these guys as you're just joining us live right here on GripTV for the RyanL83 Invitational. So we're going to try to get these guys, get to know them, get to do some driver interviews and all that good stuff. So let's see if we can't talk to one Martin, see what he's all about here. Yep, we got Martin up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yep, sure.
Hey, Martin, seen you out there in practice. Holy cow, you're at the top of the leaderboard with a 2:04.8. Now, it's just practice, so don't get too excited about that. But how you feeling today? Welcome on in, and how you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think those times should be pretty reproducible in qualifying as well. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Martin, Judson Keane here. We had a 2-hour practice session, time to be used wisely. Did you have a specific approach or a plan of attack for today for the 2 hours? Was it mostly on qualifying setup, or were you able to run full fuel loads? What was your practice all about?
I did a couple of fuel runs in the beginning, just 4, 5, or 6 laps consecutively to see how the tire temperatures develop and the pressures, how those develop. And then I was just focused on getting a good qualifying setup in, which is a bit more aggressive to... It's a bit more difficult to drive, but it's also faster.
So the BMW, as it's been unfolding this week, has been all about how well it can perform right off the bat, and then it seems like it degrades after the laps. Do you have any concern with your setup as the fuel load starts to dissipate and you have that big old engine sitting in the front of the car, something that we're not used to in the GT3 class, and generating understeer? Is there any concerns with that, how the car is going to hold up for the length of the race?
No, not really. Should be fine.
Good.
And talk about a little bit about the weather conditions, because I know it's pretty warm out there. How's that going to come into play?
I don't know. Since we're running static weather, it's just I think it's slightly colder than air temperature is colder than normally, but we run clear weather conditions, no clouds, so the asphalt temperature is a bit higher. Should make the car a bit slower after all, and should also increase tire wear a slight bit, but I think that's no big concern.
Alrighty then, Martin. Well, it was nice to talk to you, and good luck out there. And holy cow, hopefully you can reproduce some of those times that we saw in practice, because you were just flying out there. So it's good to see a lot of these guys getting the seat time in and really being able to put it on a show. So good luck out there, buddy. We'll be rooting for you.
Thanks.
And thanks to Martine. And we got our very own Timo Westendahl out there running some practice laps right now, and we got Timo up in the booth. Timo, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Timo, good to see you out there with that beautiful GripTV.org paint scheme. Running some laps out there with the BMW. How you feeling today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this race. Right now I'm just doing some full fuel tanks, so my lap times aren't that good. Yeah, but I'm pretty happy with my lap times, to be honest. Seems like I can actually be around top 15 somewhere if lap 1 goes well.
So, Timo, you have been known in past broadcasts as being the guy as Mr. Consistent, the guy that kind of sneaks up on drivers very quietly. We saw that in the endurance race that you had the past week. We've seen it at Spa, where you come out of nowhere with these magnificent performances, and I think it's yielded through consistent lap times. You've gotten down to a 206.830. Is that something with moderate fuel loads? Are we anticipating that you're going to be in the competitive range of like an 07, 08 throughout the laps? And how are you feeling now transitioning into a BMW?
Yeah, actually, that 206 and 207s are without any fuel. I started about 30 liters or something, and yeah, right now I'm driving 207, 208, high 207, 207s and 208s, and with a lot of fuel in it. And I think if the tires get worn, I probably don't get any better chance. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my pace compared to other drivers. And yeah, well, the new car, I really enjoy it. I know there are a lot of people who don't. A lot of people switch back to the roof, but yeah, compared to the roof, it's pretty different to drive. But I like it, and you know, it's a proper German car, and I'm from Germany, so yeah, I enjoy it pretty bad, and I probably stick with it.
Well, yeah, it's going to be fun to see out there, a proper German car with a real German driver out there. And I just want to thank you personally for the overlay that you were able to put together. Timo Westendahl, Super Diamiro, he is the mastermind behind the overlay that you see on screen right now. And just wanted to thank you for that. And we wish you the best of luck. And how can people find you on the internets?
Yeah, first, thanks for the kind words. I hope the overlay will work probably in the race as well. Yeah, you can actually find me on YouTube and surely on Twitch. You might have seen the link to my Twitch already in the multi-Twitch, and you can also find me on YouTube with the same name, Super Diamiro, and even on Twitter. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff there that can be watched.
All right, brother, and we see it turning those last laps, 10 minutes left in practice. Wish you the best in the qualifying and the race, and we'll be rooting for you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the stream, everybody.
Good luck, Timo.
All righty then, let's see who else we can talk to. Let's bring Jimmy in here. Jimmy Broadbent, one of our very own GripTV members and drivers. How you doing? It's Matt Malone and Judson Kane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here. I've got to be quick though. Drive briefing coming soon.
Jimmy, criticism you've had about Circuit of the Americas, you said that there's not much of a rhythm that can be developed here at the track. Now, that's going to play out probably in a huge way as you're going to be exerting a lot of mental energy to run the laps for 90 minutes. Also, you're more known for the radical cars like the 79 Lotus, having a lot of success there. Moving over to the sequential downforce traction control GT3, what are your impressions? and how are you feeling about getting this race started?
It's a whole different kind of ball game, I guess. I am struggling a little bit. I'll be the first to say that this isn't the kind of car that I like to drive. But hopefully, I'll get there and I'll get up to race pace, get consistent, and maybe I can make a challenge from there. But at the moment, it's looking edgy.
Out of anyone who shows up for the challenge and battles hard, it's you, Jimmy. Good luck, personally. I wish you the best, man.
Yep.
Justin?
Yep, we'll be rooting for you. And how can people find you on the internets?
Well, you either find me on YouTube, I'm Jimmy Broadbent on YouTube, or find me on my Twitch channel. I'm currently streaming now, twitch.tv/Jimmy_B. And I'll be doing the in-car perspective of this race. You can see me rage up close, so come along, it'll be fun.
That's right. Well, good luck, and you better get into that driver's briefing, as they're doing a driver's briefing right now, so make sure you write down all the rules.
I will memorize tomorrow.
Okay, Jimmy. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty then, and some of the guys in pit lane there getting a driver's briefing. Just make sure everyone's on the same page, and we're going to try to get a word in with Jesper Penderson, who was able to put together a 2:05.9. Let's see if we can't talk with him right now. Hey, Jesper, it's Matt Malone and Judson Kane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hello, guys.
Hey, Jesper, seen you out there in practice. You were able to put down a 2:05.9. How you feeling? How's the car running? How you feeling today?
I'm good, but a little bit disappointed about the pace at the moment. The car is not how I want it to be, so I'm still making some adjustments to the setup to go a little bit faster.
Tweaking it out a little bit. I know the weather comes into play. I know with these 90-minute races, pit stops are going to come into play. So we did have a long practice session, but it's interesting to hear a little bit of driver insight on that. You're still tweaking a little bit of the setup. That's interesting.
Yeah, I have been away from sim racing for 4 months now, so I'm a little bit getting back to it now. So getting this setup right is taking a bit longer than normal, but hopefully I'll get it.
Jesper, I don't know how much time you've had in the BMW since its release. It obviously has some degradation issues over the course of the race. Are there any concerns about that as fuel loads unload itself, having that big heavy engine in the front? And it also looks like from your car, you're slightly running your fronts a little bit lower as far as ride height goes from your rear end, generating natural downforce. Is that a natural plan to compensate for fuel loads later in the race?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, having the front a little bit lower saves a little bit of fuel in the longer run. So, yeah, but at the moment I'm just trying to get the car to not be as hard on the tires because it's a little bit of a problem with the high camber. I got issue after like 4 laps, so now I'm just trying to find a balance between speed and having the speed over the longer run.
Sure. What kind of cambers are you running?
Uh-oh, that could be classified.
Yeah, I'm running 2.8 at the front and almost 3 at the back as well. So
Very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, it's like I said, you know, we just wish good luck to everybody. Is there anywhere on the internets that people can find you?
yeah, I actually got a website called virtual-to-reality.dk, where I'm trying to go from the world to the real tracks, and trying to find enough money and partners to do that.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, everyone go check that out for sure. And we wish you the best of luck, and it's going to be fun out there. So keep it clean and make it to the end, and wish you the best of luck, buddy.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Yeah, take care, Jesper. Good luck.
Alrighty then, you heard it right there, a little bit of driver insight, and Judson's trying to poke and prod. he's probably working on his setup. What are you doing, Judson? That's classified information, but it is nice to get a little insight from the guys.
Well, ironically enough, that the camber issue that he's expressing and the harshness of oversteer in which he's witnessing with the BMW is similar to the rough issue that Michael Rasmussen was talking about with me earlier this week. So it could be consistent, and I think it has a lot to do with the weight transfer that happens over these rumble strips.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, those first couple laps, it's a lot different. And that's the thing about this. You get through those first couple laps, you got to make sure you don't have a cold tire setup, as we talk about that quite a bit. But yeah, very interesting to see how the first couple stages of this race are going to go. As we see, whoa, and we see someone go right off into turn one. These guys have had their driver's briefing. They're all on the same page. We got 3 minutes until qualifying, folks. You found the right place. It is GripTV, and this is the RyanL83 Invitational. And it's going to be wild stuff here, 90-minute race. And I'm just glad everyone's here watching. And I'm glad you're here, Judson.
Oh man, you bet, man. That Jesper, man, it's quite interesting of the BMWs that I saw so far today. He's one of the few that's actually running with his rear end lifted a little bit. We saw it in a couple Porsches during practice today, but this BMW seems like it's one of the first in order to conserve heat on tires and utilize natural downforce instead of cranking that wing up. So it'll be interesting to see how that pays out, because not only was he able to do that for the longevity of the race, he's also posting competitive times from a qualifying standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. And it didn't seem like he was too worried about the weather. These guys have had a lot of practice with these weather conditions. Yeah, I mean, it's just it is what it is, and you take it for what it is, and you got to run your race. So it should be interesting to see as the race progresses, with tire degradation and the fuel loads and stuff, how it's going to work out. And I'm telling you, man, these guys got to keep it clean here for their own sake, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And some of these guys, they've can't put together too good of a lap, but Jiminy Crickets, you see them out there thrashing around. These are the best of the best out here, and they're just very modest. They're very modest when it comes to this, and it's good to see the respect within the iRacing community, and should be a lot of fun today.
Jesper's currently out on a different setup, which the body is a little bit more evened out, so it looks like he's back on qualifying trim right before qualifying, trying to get his laps in so he can run fast.
Yeah, for sure, and I'm sure these guys are making some final adjustments as we only got 1 minute left until qualifying begins. And they're gonna that's when it counts, folks. That's when it counts, as we have 51 people in the server so far. They still got some chance to check on in to get on in here, and we might be able to get a talk with Michael Rasmussen. You know him as the Michael RDK, and we've seen Michael Rasmussen put together some really nice lap times. You all remember him from Road America, throwing down some world record times. Michael, it's me and Judson up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Hey, Michael, it's good to see you out there. Love watching you. Any chance I can get. How you feeling today as far as the car and the weather and the track?
Feeling okay, but I'm having some trouble with the setup on the car.
We've heard a lot of that from different people, with the weather conditions, trying to get this set up just right. We know this track is very technical, some hard braking points, some sweepers. Those S's will get you. So you're still tweaking your setup, you're saying, huh?
Michael, earlier this week, you alluded to having a little bit of exit oversteer with this setup, and it could be conducive because of the newness of this track and the physics that are carried along in the new rough. I've also just heard that there's some issues with BMWs having the similar issue when they're trying to do a setup for the longevity of the race. How did you choose to spend your time in this practice before qualifying? Were you more focused on just qualifying times, or are you gearing up for the race itself?
While gearing up for the race, I've been trying to figure out the oversteering issues, but yeah, I'm having trouble figuring it out.
Now, I would imagine you're the type of guy that would go into your black box and just turn that traction control right off and not even think about it. Am I correct in saying that?
You are.
That's right. We got Michael Rasmussen. He goes full bore there. No traction control needed. But yeah, we wish you the best of luck. And is there any place on the internets that people can find you?
Yeah, they can find me on the Twitch, the TV, and Michael RDK.
Yep, Michael RDK on Twitch, and also he's got a YouTube channel at Michael Rasmussen. So we were taking bets earlier, and we were seeing which favorite drivers we got out there. And I put my money on you, Michael, because you're fun to watch, and I just wish you the best of luck out there.
Look, let's let Michael get back into it. Qualifying has started.
Okay, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Go.
Good luck, buddy, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you a lot.
All right, we just heard from Michael Rasmussen. He's one of our own, and it's good to get a little insight. It sounds like people are really fighting with their setup, Judson. That's amazing for this much practice time, and now we see them all in qualifying has begun, so they are qualifying.
That was exactly what I was alluding to in our pre-talk before the race. Because the dynamics have gotten more extreme with these cars based on the length of the race, what the fuel load has impact weight-wise on the car. These guys are struggling. They could develop their setup based on qualifying and just add spring rate, and the car would be good for the consistency of the race. Now they're struggling because they have to choose which part of the race they're going to be super fast on, and they just can't keep a setup that's going to be good for the entirety of the race. It's just incredibly hard to do. You can make one that's consistent, but it'll be slower than the super fast guys. So that's the struggles that they're all facing.
Yeah, that's true, and something with this where you almost got to make two entirely different setups, like you said, one for qualifying, one for the race. So it's going to be interesting as we may be able to get a word in with one Sean Vandekamp. You know him as Fuzzy Falcon, and Fuzzy Falcon also streams, and you can see his in-car view at twitch.tv/Fuzzy Falcon. Sean, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Hey, Sean, good to see you on out there, and qualifying has begun. And so how you feeling? How's the car feeling there today?
Well, I'm having some issues. It's not feeling like it was in the practice race that you hosted yesterday, I think it was. Just can't get the same lines working, and my FPS is giving me problems too.
Well, we have heard some issues with the graphics as far as this circuit of the America is very heavy on the PC load. But are you more working on your just a setup for the race, just concentrating on the race? How are you taking this qualifying session?
I'm gonna take this qualifying session pretty easily. Pretty easy, not easily. Easy, just keeping it chill, not pushing too hard. I'm hoping to start somewhere near the back and not be stuck in the middle of all the 60 cars going around that first turn.
Yeah, that first turn could be a little crazy. Can you give us a little insight on what was talked about in the driver's briefing?
Just a little bit of info on certain things, such as the incident limit, the fact that it's a rolling start, just simple things such as that.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sounds like
Martin
everyone's on the same page then. Oh, yes,
Martin
go ahead.
Kronk starts out with his first qualifying lap with a 2:05.331, so that guy's charging hard already. Followed by LJ Garnett with a 2:06.057 as they're all clicking in right now. Martin is on top.
Wow, that is amazing. Hey, Sean, great to get an interview with you. Where can people find you on the internets?
Twitch.tv/Fuzzy Falcon with 1Z, or YouTube The Fuzzy Falcon.
All right, brother. Where you're,
well.
yep, you're looking good out there in the GripTV paint, and good luck to you, buddy.
Thanks.
Not too sure if we could get a driver interview with one Tony McCullum. You know him as Tone the Moan, but I'm dragging him down here. Hey, Flying Scotsman, Tony, you got a copy? It's me and Judson up in the booth.
Hi.
Hey, Tony, see you out there running some laps. How's the car feeling? How you feeling today?
Okay. How are you?
Oh, we're doing all right. Just me and Judson up in the booth here. We see you parked over there, and looks like your lap time's continuing to go. You are representing GripTV Racing. Saw you doing some crazy Week 13 stuff earlier today. So you're all pumped up. You got your steering wheel all warmed up. Everything's running good then, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking of starting from the pits and maybe going for the zero incident prize.
Yeah, that's right. For the driver that gets 0 incidents, he does win a $5 iRacing credit. But GripTV does have some rules about starting from the pits.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a
Tony.
second.
That's as bad as doing time trials for safety rating farming, dude. What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there is a fourth rule that Matt doesn't actually know about with GripTV, but I'll just keep that a secret.
Well, it's good to see you out there, Tony. We love having you on, and maybe we'll see some Flying Scotsmans out there. You never know, as there is no incident limit. So, yeah, try to keep out of trouble. And I know you definitely got some pace out there because you put in a lot of seat time with the Porsche. So good to see you out there, and we're all rooting for you, buddy.
Well, if you can root for me, because you're apparently the track marshal, so if you see any Flying Scotsmen, you can always turn a blind eye to that.
Yep, that's right. All right, buddy. And where can people find you on the internets?
I wasn't going to stream, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Tone the Moan. You can find Tone the Moan at twitch.tv/Tone the Moan. So, yeah, we're all rooting for you, buddy, and good luck out there.
Thanks, have fun, guys.
Martin Kronk posting a 2:04.937 on his third lap of qualifying. 2:04.937, followed by LJ Garnett still at a 2:06.057. Seems like Martin Kronk is really charging hard, and he's found a groove at that pace with not much of a concern as far as his car setup goes. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is, and yeah, we see some of the times coming up here on the ticker and stuff. So should be a lot of fun.
Michael Rasmussen just posted a 2:06.136, putting him in fourth, P4 at the current point of this qualifying time, right behind LJ Garnett. So how it falls down right now is Martin Kronk, P1, Jesper Pedersen, P2 with a 2:06.051, LJ Garnett, Michael Rasmussen, Sebastian Job to round up your top 5.
Yep, that's right, and we're in qualifying right now for the RyanL83 Invitational right here on GripTV. Thanks everybody for joining. This is happening live right here on Twitch, and I got the Twitch chat open. So if you got any questions about anything, just let us hear from you. We love to hear from you, folks. And yep, we're just following some qualifying right now, taking a look at Michael Rasmussen. He just got out of the paint booth, and he's got his beautiful paint going. Representing, and he's got the 4th best time right now as he pulls it over, maybe making some tweaks on his setup. But yeah, you're right, Jesper Pedersen running a 2:06 flat, so looking good out there in Apex Racing UK with that 777 car. But I'm telling you, the guy to beat, this Martin guy in that BMW, 2:04.9. Holy cow, folks. And this is, you know, with qualifying, it's very important. I think qualifying is one of the most important things in iRacing. Get you set up close up onto the grid. You can be ahead of all the crazies, all the wrecks, all the roadkill, and just be able to get out in front and try to create a gap and just kind of start running your line. I think it's more important than some people think.
Right now, a lot of the drivers, even in qualifying, have to manage traffic right now. You don't want to run into traffic through the S's. You don't want to run into traffic after the straight at the back end of the course. But you want to stay close enough to a car to leverage draft down the straights. So traffic management is critical in this qualifying effort, and the guys that are doing it right now obviously are sitting in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, you may get a couple dark horses out here that are still using this time as like a practice session, trying to get their race set up just right. You know, we got a 90-minute race. Pit stops are involved. So, like, we talked to some of the drivers. We got some insight from the drivers themselves. They're still trying to tweak their setups up. This is brand new content from iRacing, Circuit of the Americas, very technical track, some very tough turns, a long track. These lap times are over 2 minutes, so you're right in line with like a track like a Sebring or almost like a Road of America. So it's a long track, a lot of turns to navigate, to learn, multiple lines through some of these turns, and yeah, you know, maybe some of these guys, like Sean was saying, you know, maybe he's just kind of taking an easy qualifying, trying to get his race setup going. And, you know, it's going to be one wild race. I'm so excited. We got 18 minutes left to go in qualifying. We're going to see how these guys get lined up. And then the big 90-minute race coming your way very, very soon. Stick right there, folks. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, I'm looking at the likes of Adam Grossling, currently P7 in the number 027 car, the 206, struggling with oversteer. He spun it about. Right now it's not incredibly urgent because we do have 30 minutes of qualifying, but the urgency, that pressure that occurs for these drivers is going to happen sooner or later, and it's starting to bubble up as we speak. Laps are going to be winding down, and their opportunity to get a good position time is going to be dwindling away. So take advantage of the time now, Adam Gosling. Go get your time now so you don't have to worry about it towards the end of the qualifying session.
Yep, that's right. And let's bring in the man of the hour, the man who put this all together, Ryan Littlemore. We're going to try to get a word in with him. I just want to thank Ryan Littlemore for putting together this RyanL83 Invitational and allowing me and Judson and to be able to broadcast this and just be able to showcase everyone out there. It's a wild time, and you know, maybe we can have him come on in here and give us a little insight on the event itself and why he put it together, and maybe there's going to be future ones. Future events like this in the future, and you never know what's planned. Yep.
Got to cut you off real quick. LJ Garnett answering to Martin Kronk, getting his qualifying time for P2 to a 2:05.734. That puts him a second ahead of third place Jesper Peterson, who was holding the second P2. Jesper Peterson needs to respond now against LJ Garnett.
Yeah, for sure. And LJ Garnett, we saw him in practice, able to put together some really good lap times. I'm just amazed that some of these top guys are in the BMW. I mean, this is brand new content. It's amazing that they've been able to, you know, because they come out with a baseline setup, but it's, yeah, yikes. So it's fun to see these guys really be able to tweak their setups and get it just right, especially for a track like this. It's so demanding. And so it is cool to see some of those Beamers out in front, but don't look past some of those McLarens. I've been saying it. Me and Judd's been saying it, or I've been saying it anyway. Get ready for some of these McLarens to make a show at the end of the race, 90-minute race. For some reason, I have the thought that some of these McLarens are going to be charging through the field.
Darren Seal sealing the deal with getting P4 with a 206.120 over that of Michael Rasmussen. Michael Rasmussen gets pushed down to position 5, P5 at the current rate with a 206.128. Darren Seal charging hard here. Yep,
that's right, and we're on board now with one LJ Garnett with Apex Racing UK. And the number 199 car having that second place best time there with a 2:05.7. Just to give you guys an idea what this track is all about at Circuit of the Americas and how difficult it is. You see him coming in here at this really hard braking zone, another hairpin where the bumper on the left side really sticks way out. You got to avoid it and then be able to set this one up here. This is nearing the end of the lap here. We're going to follow this guy around for an entire lap here, and just to give you guys an idea of how demanding it really is here. You see this little double left-hander here. The bumps are an issue. You see him getting a little bit of oversteer. That's always an issue. And this double right-hander here, oh my gosh, I've put a lot of laps and a lot of seat time in the Circuit of the Americas already, and I still don't know how to take that. But you just got to be able to feather through it, and you know, racecraft is going to come into play. But as we see him now coming up to the start-finish line, let's see what kind of lap he can run here. And
LJ
look,
Garnett on the front stretch as he crosses the start-finish line, dealing with traffic before the last turn, in which it's so important to get a good thrust out of that turn in order to get the pace down the front straight, up the hill on the way to turn 1. Turn 1 is a sweeper at second gear as he gets around, battling with a bit of oversteer. Now he's on his way to the S-curves, gearing up through 4 and 5. Pushing his way into the S-turns. There's a very narrow line, folks, as there's an absolute mess that he has to navigate through in qualifying. You either gear through 4 and sometimes down to 3 as you try to make sure that you don't sway from that line, because that S-turns demand you to be exactly on spot. And there he is, off the track.
oh, unfortunate to see that. Oh, well, maybe we can try again with somebody else. Oh, perfect timing. Martin starting out another lap here. He's turning into turn 1 right now. It's almost like a wall. Easy to break, though, coming into turn 1 because of the elevation change. But let's see how he navigates through the S's.
Martin Kronk through turn 1 had far less oversteer than LJ Garnett, which is an interesting tidbit. You can also see his ride height's a little bit higher. He's more aggressive through the S-turns, but maintaining that line, not using too much speed, which can actually put you way off. He's out about through the S's. He's going to go through the fast straight up to a hairpin that's going to take him down the back stretch. His car looks so much more consistent and easy to maneuver. You can see with a bit more camber, rear camber than that of LJ Garnett. That means when he's in turn and he's loaded weight, he's getting more tire tread on the ground. But you can just see the difference in ease in which Martin is navigating through this track as he's on his way down the back track up to the hairpin.
And watch how hard he is going to be on the brakes here. Let's see how much track he uses on the right side.
Turn 12 is a nasty one. Second gear, you have to have a lot of faith because it's so much tarmac around you. And as he's on his way through, he's going through a second or third gear turn on turn 13, double right-hander to 14, all the way down to 15 where he's throttling through third and fourth. Then you brake fast down to second. On his way around through even a faster section, 16, 17, 18, and 19. 19 is a mid-floater, fourth gear, third gear. But the consistency that I'm seeing here with Martin Kronk and how his setup works even right now, it would not shock me if this is the same thing he's using for the race itself, and this consistency really is going to put him out in front in the pack here.
And as we see him thrash into the pits there. But yeah, that was a heck of a lap by Martin. He is our leader right now as far as qualifying times with that 2:04.9 still. So, man, I guess that's the time to beat. And we did have a talk with Martin as in a driver interview. And he said it wouldn't be too hard to be able to replicate that. And sure enough, he was able to do that as LJ Garnett's going to try to put together another lap.
CLJ Garnett looks like he was able to manage turn 1 with a little bit more ease, less oversteer. Could it be that he has traction control, or is he a lot more sensitive to his throttle base that he's using on the car? On his way through the S's, it looks like the car is pointing well. You have to be careful on your throttle not to carry too much speed into each component of the S, or it's going to throw you off the kink, as I was mentioning before. He's continuing to the last segment of the S to the back stretch, or a kind of a slow stretch, high-speed turn where you get up to 5th gear before you hit the hairpin to the back stretch at turn 11. Could this be the lap for LJ Garnett, as 19 minutes have passed in qualifying, meaning 10 minutes or left, so the urgency for Garnett to try to take pole away from Martin Kronk is there. He certainly had a good first segment, and now he's down the back stretch on his way to turn 12. The unfortunate thing is that he doesn't have any other cars around him for draft, so he's completely on his own. So this back stretch is going to be useless to him as far as gaining time. It's going to come down to his execution in the technical turns, and I already would expect that Martin and LJ Garnett, Jesper Petersons, Darren Seal, and Michael Rasmussen are awfully close to their optimals.
Yeah, that's right. And you got to be careful with qualifying. If you go off track, it doesn't count. So if he gets an off track anytime during the lap, it will not count. But during the race, there will be no incident limit. But yeah, in order for it to count in qualifying, it's got to be one clean lap. And let's see how he does here.
LJ Garnett through the last 2 turns has to come on strong at turn 20 to get down this straight. Third gear floater half out, now full on. LJ Garnett, does he have it?
He's got to push it. Oh, and a 2:05.5. It's not going to do it as Martin holds on with that 2:04.
Yeah. But he does improve his distance from Jesper Peterson, because during that time Jesper himself got into the 2:05s. So 2:05s for the top 3. Well, we have Darren, Michael, and James Stevenson sitting at 2:06s.
Yep, that's right. And Michael Rasmussen able to put together, like you said, a 2:06.1, which does put him 5th place on the grid with 52 drivers out there. That's pretty dang impressive. He's driving that roof, and he's part of GripTV Racing as he starts another lap. Let's see how he does. This is a lap around with Michael Rasmussen in the Porsche. That's you're gonna have to be careful on turn 1 there as he's trying to push it, and that'll happen to you.
That's the oversteer he's been struggling with all week. It's something to conclusive to the surface that is here at Circuit of the Americas. And it could also be that his ride height in the rear is higher than the front, because that was consistent to the tidbit of information I was able to yank out of Jesper Peterson. Though, out of anybody, I have faith that Michael can manage the oversteer and really use his throttle and brakes to navigate the course and still be fast.
Alrighty then, and as we got about 7.5 minutes left in qualifying, we'll keep our eye on Jesper Peterson and some other of these guys as we get a word in with one Ryan Littlemore. And Ryan Littlemore's joining us up in the booth. How you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I've literally just come back from my dinner and realised I've only got 4 minutes to set a lap time, so just made a couple of tweaks to the setup, and thank courtesy of Jesper Pettersson, my teammate, he's just shared me his, and I'm just going to get a couple of laps and see what it's like.
Yeah, very, very good, and thanks for letting us broadcast the race, Ryan. You were nice enough to put this Invitational together. Tell us a little bit about it, how it got started, what the idea was, and yeah, it seems to be a great turnout so far.
Yeah, it has been a really good turnout. I want to thank the guys in here who are qualifying right now for taking the time out of their busy schedules to come here tonight and really showcase a fantastic track in the Circuit of Americas. I've driven it on other sim racing games like F1 2013 and 2012, and yeah, and the BMW as well, which is, in my opinion, one of the best cars that iRacing has brought out in a long time. And how this came about was I've been planning to do an invitational for my followers and subscribers of iRacing way back in last summer, but I was busy with uni work and over Christmas, and I thought this was the right time, a new track, new build, unknown territories, and see how it goes, and gives guys who are in the GT3 Challenge series that's coming up, when the BMW gets incorporated into it, a chance to get a feel for the car and the McLaren and the RUF as well. And yeah, that's how it originally came about, and then I just put it up on the forums, and in about a day the spots got filled up straight away, which I was surprised about. And then obviously with you guys broadcasting it as well, I wanted to get a broadcast team who are not like the likes of Race Spot and Glacier to get out there, get them publicised. And I've known you, Matt, for quite a while now from the Invitational that Rutgers Kev had, and you guys have done some great broadcasts, and I had no option but to ask you guys, because you guys did an incredible job with the Classic Letters Grand Prix stuff, so I thought you guys were the right choice.
Well, yeah, thanks for the opportunity, and so far it's been one heck of a time as we've been building up for this race for quite a while. And like you said, it wasn't that hard to get 60 drivers. There was even a reserve list for it, so it's good to see the participation and the excitement for these invitationals, and yeah, hopefully there'll be a lot more in the future. This is just the start of it, right, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I'm already planning another invitational very soon, probably mid-24 season 2, possibly on the oval side of things with trucks maybe, or the Gen 6, or even IndyCar, but I'm definitely going to be planning another road event, another invitational at some point with maybe like more like a GT American Le Mans style ones with like the HPDs, the Corvettes, BMWs, and the McLarens at some point. So we'll have to wait and see on that when hopefully driver spotting will be driver swaps come in season 3.
Yeah, very, very exciting, and it's good to see everyone out here with the new content. Everything seems to be rocking and rolling just fine. And yeah, if you guys want to see more of Ryan, head on over to his YouTube page at RyanL83 on YouTube. And we just wish you the best of luck out there, and good luck to you and your teammates.
Yep, I want to give them a shout out. Jesper Pettersson, LJ Garnett, Sebastian Job, Dean Prescott, who I don't know if you guys can see it on your broadcast, but Dean's the man who's made the skin for us tonight.
Sebastian Job breaking through with a 205.606, placing him in P3 over Jesper Peterson and Darren Seal. Sebastian Job coming out of literally nowhere with wicked fast pace. P3,
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very, very, very good. And yeah, we'll see all your teammates out there. They look like they're definitely on top of the leaderboards here. So they've been able to put some fast lap times together. But we wish you all the best, and we'll be seeing you out there for sure, Ryan.
Yep, cheers guys, and I'll speak to you throughout the whole race. And is there, I'll just give a quick shout out to someone.
Oh yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Before Judson came in, Dean Prescott, the guy who made the skin, he's made it specifically for this event, as it's a work in progress. So give him the kudos to make the skin, and Leah Bodner, Sim Steering, GT Mega Racing, and Apex Racing TV for the sponsorships. And also a shout out to Alex Simpson as well, who did pretty well in his World Championship Series race today for the Pylon. So, and the final one is to you guys, the viewers, and Matt Malone Judson for doing this tonight. We do appreciate it a lot.
Well, thanks again, Ryan, and it should be a lot of fun and lots more to come.
Alright, see you later guys. I'll speak to you at some point during the race.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll get an update.
Sebastian Job is not finished there. Sebastian Job dipping onto the inside to the number 77 car, who I don't even know if is on race pace. Sebastian Job literally came out of nowhere while we were doing that race interview and put himself in P3 with 28 minutes of elapsed time in qualifying, so the urgency is now on. So as we know, Matt, there's going to be a lot of contenders pushing hard for these last bit of minutes. Once the checkered flag goes across, if you're still on a race lap, that will qualify. So imagine the pressure that these drivers are feeling, trying to get those positions in line, take care of business so that they can have a good start.
Yeah, for sure. And we're just taking a look at the starting grid. If they were to grid right now, what these times are, with Martin out front, LJ Garnett second, Sebastian, like you said, coming out of nowhere, picking up that P3 position, but Jesper Penderson not too far behind. Michael Rasmussen, beautiful to see him in 6th position. Darren Seal 5th. And we only got 49 seconds to go here in the qualifying, and this race is going to get underway as we just take a look at the standings right now as they fall. But some of these guys could be on a hot lap right now. You never know. So final seconds of the qualifying session right here for the RyanL83 Invitational, being broadcast to you, everybody out there, by GripTV. I'm joined with Judson Kane. Some know him as the Judd. And it's just, we got our lemonades up here, and we're ready to rock and roll. And it's a beautiful day out here. It's Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Wonderful to be here in the States with everybody. Looks like these guys are just about finishing up here, and the race will begin shortly. Stay tuned, folks, as we got a 90-minute race coming your way.
Sebastian Job leveraging that of number 94 car with draft. Can that be enough pace to secure P2, or is he satisfied with P3 and he's going to get ready for the race? Sebastian Job flying past the back stretch, down to turn 12. This is going to be amazing.
And we're taking a look at Matt Orr. You know him as Empty Box on YouTube, and he is in here, folks. Don't you worry. And his best time right now is a 2:07.7, and let's see if he can improve on that just a little bit. He's driving that BMW, looking good out there. But yeah, a lot of these guys on their last lap here as we're bringing it down here, final minute.
Matt Orr trying to navigate the turn complex of the double-handers, gearing down to second as he's coming around. He's going to be touching the turns of 16, 17, 18 as about third gear up into fourth gear before hitting 19, which is that mid-floater, fourth gear, third gear. Matt Orr, known as Empty Box. We have a little bit of history in which I rage fit in one of his broadcasts. He had a nice commentary on me, kept it classy. Thought I'd give the nod to him. Because it was not planned. He's around third gear, accelerating off on and hard. I don't think it's going to be a lap to contend, though he is P23 as things are wrapping up. I will be going through just to make sure that all race cars are settled in for the race. Martin Kronk looks like it appears that 204.655 is going to be untouchable, which gives him pole position. Congratulations to Martin Kronk. LJ Garnett at P2 199 car with a 205.563, though I didn't think it was going to be safe against the likes of James Stevenson, who took fourth, Sebastian Job, who took third, Peterson, who took fifth. All drivers who could have competed against that, looks like he's secured in. So the top three finishers of the qualifying session, Martin Kronk, LJ Garnett, Sebastian Job. Top five goes to fourth place, James Svensson. Jesper Peterson is top five. Our very own Michael Rasmussen at P7. It's in striking distance. He's going to have to be a bit careful about how the traffic's going to absorb him coming into turn one.
Yeah, that's right. And as we look at all how they fall here, took a look at the top 10. Now we're taking a look at the 11th through 20th, and we see all the names there. And, man, there's just a lot of guys out here. Our very own Timo Westendal able to get 22nd. Matt Orr, Empty Box, able to get 23rd place there. He'll be gridding up 23rd. And Jimmy Broadbent, 30th, as we're just taking a look at some of the names here as they roll in. Callum Knighton, 31st, Paul Lonegren, 32nd, Mark Hewitt, you know him as Wheel Damage, 33rd, Simon Carr, 34th, as we're taking a look through him here. And, hey, look at Tone the Moan finishing out 42nd. And as we take a look, 52 drivers, it looks like, were able to qualify. And I believe they're going to be go ahead, and they're all gridded up. Holy cow, folks. It's the RyanL83 Invitational right here on GripTV as they're getting ready for the short pace lap here. And they're going to be going green very shortly. Get your lemonades, folks. Sit right there. You're not going to want to miss this at all.